Okay, so I figured I'd make a quick video on how to import text files and data into a spreadsheet. My spreadsheet software is probably going to look a little bit different than yours because my computer is running Linux Kubuntu rather than Windows, and my Office software is LibreOffice rather than the Microsoft Office Excel. It should be almost identical, but just to let you know, it's going to look slightly different. So to start off with, we're going to need a text file data set. So I went to Google, just typed in datasets, and it brought me to, I believe it's called data.gov. And I selected text files, and I just pulled up a random text file data set here. And to start off with, I figured this right here should be nice and easy to import into Excel. So I'm just going to select all of that, including the headings up there. Going to press Control C to copy it. I'm going to go back over to the spreadsheet, select the first cell, and hit Control V, and click OK. And as you can see, it threw all the data into this first row here, and it looks terrible. So to get it looking nice and neat, we have to select. We're just going to select there up in A to select the entire row or the entire column. We're going to go to the Data tab, click Text to Columns. And make sure it's on a fixed width, not separated by. Sometimes you may need separated by if your data is separated by commas or spaces. But since ours is already almost nice and neat, we're going to keep it as fixed width. So what you have to do here is pick exactly where, you have to tell it where you want your rows at. So these little red dots are going to show you exactly where it's going to put each of the columns. So we're missing one here for years, so we'll click there and put a column there. It threw this one in the middle of a header, so we gotta slide that over. And we'll just keep going down the row here. For MSMT, that one, it looks like it's selected correctly. We'll put one here, here, slide this one over, put one here. That one, we'll slide it over a tiny bit. We'll put one there, and we'll put one there. Looks like we missed one here. Okay. That looks good. We'll click OK. So that looks pretty good, except everything's spread out now. So what you have to do, you have to hit Control A to select the entire spreadsheet. We're going to go up here to the row and click Optimal Height. I usually leave it as 0, click OK, and now it put everything nice and neat, so you can actually filter everything if you need to, and I'll show you how to do that here. So to get the filter set up, hit Control A again, go to Data, Auto Filter, Yes, and as you can see, you get a drop down here, and you can auto filter whatever you need. So if we want sequence 5, we'll click that, and it brings us just that row that has the 5 data in it. So now that we've imported text that we separated by fixed width, let's try importing some text data that we'll have to separate using either commas or spaces. So I have another data set pulled up here. This individual tree information. As you can see here, since everything is kind of shifted, if we try to import this using fixed width, it's not going to work. So I'll show you exactly how to do it here. Let's copy this data set. We'll do the same thing. We'll select it all, hit Control C, go back over to our spreadsheet. Let's create a new one. We'll do the same thing. We'll pick the first cell and hit Control V to paste it. And as you can see, it did the same thing again. It threw all the data into a single row. So we'll select the entire row. We're going to go to Data, Text to Columns, and it looks like it still has where we put our rows before, or our columns before, so we'll have to get rid of all these. Actually, it's probably easier if you just click on Separated By. And we don't want it separated by spaces. It looks like all the data is separated by commas. So we'll uncheck space, uncheck other, we'll pick column or comma, and click OK. And it looks like it did a pretty good job, so we'll Control A, go up to row, optimal height, click OK. And as you can see, it did a perfect job from what I can tell. We'll have to fit that column there. So depending on what data set you have to decide if you want to manually select the columns or use spaces or commas or some other character to separate the data. What you may have to do sometimes, you can do it individually. So say you got all this selected, but this column here wasn't fully separated. You can always select that individually, go to data, text to columns, and you can always space it out however you want. So let's say you want to separate that by a period, hit OK. See, it split that between the periods. You can always do it individually that way if you want to. So that should be about it. Thanks for watching.